What's happening, YouTube? Anthony on Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film with a brand new Power Rangers Lightning Collection review. And now we are finally, after a long time coming, and this is the finale to Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, unfortunately, sadly, in the Lightning Collection. But hey, we have Maya, so now that the entire group is here, I finally already pulled these figures out in time for this occasion. So Maya has finally came home to my Lost Galaxy of a channel, but literally with my review on the Lost Galaxy Yellow Ranger in the Lightning Collection. And hey, I mean, I'm finally happy. I finally got Maya. I finally, after a long time searching for a figure that I could afford. Now, be advised, I had no choice during the summer hiatus pay an arm and a leg on eBay to get a Lost Galaxy Yellow Ranger, because a lot of her figure, a lot of her, quantities of her figure, given that they were limited, but they just, scalpers and whoever had her up for higher prices, because again, Hasbro, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves for making her and SPD Yellow GameStop exclusives. Now, I could have gotten a figure of Lost Galaxy Yellow in 2023, but again, due to what happened with me in Austin in 2023, and with me totally absent for most of 2023 doing anything related to the Lightning Collection and anything Power Rangers that year, making up for that lost time now in 2025. And with my long overdue fan film of Lost Galaxy literally, on the way soon, and that's why I'm wrapping up Lost Galaxy in time for that, and on the occasion to promote that. So now I'm going to take a look at Lost Galaxy Yellow, and so like I was saying, on eBay I paid about believe it or not, $130 for this figure. There weren't that many figures of her that I could afford for like $30, $40, 29 or something, at least on eBay. And knowing I could have got a figure of her on GameStop's website at the time, or well, there was no figures of her on Amazon for this, so given she was a very rare figure. But see, what really hurts Lost Galaxy with Yellow in the collection is she was going to be just a GameStop exclusive that was going to be hard to find, hard to skate for. Knowing that Maya has always been a fan favorite among the Power Rangers fandom, because she is one of the, believe it or not, one of the hottest female Power Rangers of all time, with, if not one of the most badass Yellow Rangers of all time in Power Rangers, outside of Trini. In the years since, I have softened up on Maya. Now, the problem that I had with Maya was that for years up until 2024, I was very against, a lot of fans just like to sexualize her character, because, years after Power Rangers, her actress, Serena Vincent, did two particular movies that jump-started her Hollywood career after Power Rangers. And knowing Serena was going to be the most successful of the Lost Galaxy cast, while everybody else was, doing nothing. And, nothing as much, but aside from one being a court judge, one being married to the season's main villain, later divorced, and whatever with the rest of the cast years after their season. That was probably one of the reasons why I wasn't huge on Maya. I love the Lost Galaxy Yellow costume. Lost Galaxy Yellow, outside of the Red Ranger, had always been my second favorite outfit of the team, and Mag the Defender being third. So, I just thought, I need to review this because, it's just, there's something personal that I have about Lost Galaxy Yellow. I mean, I love the suit, love the helmet, definitely the helmet especially, but I wasn't really crazy about her character growing up, and until years later. Now, I'm not going to get crazy about how sexy and boobalicious Maya was for a jungle woman being a Power Ranger, and but also being fierce and badass and whatever. But I'm just glad that I finally finished the team, and after 25 years of obsessing about wanting new Lost Galaxy action figures, because I didn't like the action figures I had back in the day. I just said this in one of the Lightning Collection reviews for either Lost Galaxy Green or Pink in 2022, and about the figure pack set that I had for Christmas one year in 1999 before Lightspeed Rescue started. And now that I finally have figures of the Lost Galaxy Rangers where the legs are open and at least more authentic to the TV show than those muscular, roided up looking Ranger figures, Maya is finally home, finally in my collection. So therefore, everybody, after 25 years of obsessing about Power Rangers Lost Galaxy in terms of toys, my Quasar Quest And my quest of doing Lost Galaxy toy action figure collecting is complete with the Lightning collection. Now, nothing against the original Bandai figures from back in the day, but these are way better than those figures that I had as a child. If I'm going to finish up anything Lost Galaxy for toys, it's just going to be like getting roleplay items that I had before, like a Transmorpher, which, well, actually, I do have a Transmorpher. I'll do a little retro review on this later. Yes, everybody, I got me a brand new Transmorpher after losing my original one 13 years ago, back when the channel started in 2012. Roleplay items like get a new Quasar launcher, toy, I guess, a new Trans Dagger, and possibly Magna Defender's gun sword thing that he had as a toy for roleplay items, until I get more authentic, cosplay props of a fully bladed Quasar Saber, unlike what they had in the original toys when I was a kid. So here's the front of the package. Long story short, Lost Galaxy Yellow's package, since she is the final Lost Galaxy figure in the Lightning collection. And it's sad that we'll never see other, variants and other figures, but we'll get to that when we get to her throughout her video. And then here's a side render featuring her helmet, and then everything about the figure. Her being 5'7", 5.78 inches. Wait, that's how much she's okay. And then also control art of Lost Galaxy Yellow. It's such a shame, really, that her, Maya and Kendrick's both had boxes that were plastic packaged. But even though Lost Galaxy Pink turned out very well, the same can be said about Lost Galaxy Yellow. So with that being said, let's find out. Go Galactic! Well, it's finally the journey's end with Maya. So now that we have her out of the box and unpackaged out of the package, well, the eBay seller had put the accessories in a couple of little small Ziploc bags. So you got a little folded Quasar Saber and 2 different interchangeable hands in here. Let me put that folded Quasar Saber in the holster of the Yellow Ranger. You can get a little semblance of the Wolf Galactabeast symbol a little bit. Yeah, if you could, based on what the camera's kind of picking up in the lighting. Yeah, but it's sad that one of the things that kind of weighed the figure down, I think that's why she was hard to look for figure. But if they had made her less of a GameStop exclusive, and if we had more figures of Lost Galaxy, if they did a V2 Lost Galaxy Yellow release like they did Lost Galaxy Red, where we had to get, a new Leo head, because I wasn't a fan of the first one, though, but we'll get to that when I go over these figures later. Overall, how I feel about my all-time favorite Ranger team done by Hasbro. It's just sad that of all of the Rangers, and I know a lot of everybody had pointed out, and now I'm pointing it out. Sadly, Maya is the only Lost Galaxy Ranger without a Quasar Saber in the Lightning collection. Oh, don't worry, I'll probably buy another Lost Galaxy Pink or 2 and give her a pink Quasar Saber, even if it has the Wildcat on it and not the Wolf. But I'll just pretend it's the Wolf on that one. That duplicate Quasar Saber. And probably, like in Super Mega Force's sake, take a Lost Galaxy Pink and do a custom skirted Yellow Ranger, like how Gia, when Gia in Super Mega Force, when the Mega Force Rangers would take the Ranger keys of Lost Galaxy and we would see Gia with a skirt. And even like in Gokaiger, when Luca would do the same thing as Ginga Yellow skirted via Gokai change in Gokaiger. Okay, but back to Power Rangers though. Now onto other accessories, but that since she's lacking and very deficient of a Quasar Saber, her and Leo are the only 2 in the group with Quasar launchers. When they promoted the figure back in 2022, this is all she came with, was a Quasar launcher and a folded up little small Quasar Saber before it's fully bladed, just like the rest of everybody. But the Quasar launcher, I mind, same go for Lost Galaxy Red, but if these 2 are going to get launchers, why not pink, green, and blue? And if pink, green, and blue got Trans Daggers, why not red and yellow? If all 4 of them got Quasar Sabers, why isn't she getting a Quasar Saber? So that's what made the arsenal for the Galaxy Rangers. So yeah, that's the Quasar launcher. I mean, I used to have a toy of the Quasar launcher growing up as a kid, and oh yeah, it folds up too. Why didn't I not do this with the Red Ranger earlier? And then let's take a look at Maya's civilian head. Now, if they had done if they continued the Lightning collection, we could have got a V2 Lost Galaxy Yellow, where we had a version of Maya where she had, like, you know, the fully braided, you know, hair, but there's kind of braids you can see on, like, on the detailing and everything. And also, Serena Vincent's likeness for Maya is very spot on. It does look a lot like her, but in the promo images, they made the rendering of the figure's civilian head for Maya, made it as though she was a redhead, when Maya was always brunette, brown, when that was so inaccurate in Hasbro's behalf with the rendering of how they did the coloring on her hair. It was just not accurate. But as long as now that I got all the Galaxy Ranger civilian heads, now we finally got everybody. I got Maya's head, got Kendrick's head, Damon, Leo. Well, 2 of Leo and one Kai head. But now, if we did Lost Galaxy Pink #2, we could have gotten a civilian head for Corone. But unfortunately, that's sadly never going to happen. Fuck you, Hasbro, for that. Now, let's get on to the Yellow Ranger. Now, that lightning effect piece, I've seen it before. I ain't going to talk about it. Now, I just want to appreciate how much I finally got a Lost Galaxy Yellow, but not without its problems, though. While I do love the shade of yellow on this figure, and I like how it's more open and free without a skirt, unlike the Pink Ranger, the Yellow Ranger is the last Lost Galaxy Ranger, because I've noticed on Pink's figure, Lost Galaxy Pink is the only Lost Galaxy Ranger with pinless joints, while Maya is the last and only female Ranger with pinned. You can see the pin joints on her legs, not so much on the arms, unfortunately, but Lost Galaxy Pink has no pin joints whatsoever on her figure. But the guys do, of course. But Yellow, now, I really love the suit, and you know how much I love Lost Galaxy Yellow's outfit. And especially, I love how spot on the helmet is done. But here's the problem. Now, as much as I do have problems with, you know, well, as much as I love the figure, like the figure, this is the same problem with In Space Pink. They made her neck a little too long. That is one common flaw. They did a good job doing the belt on the Ranger suits with that particular V standing for victory. I can't think of any other QC issues, but I do know that Lost Galaxy Yellow's, in terms of some of the joints, her left leg is bent, very bent, and I think I need to heat it up a little bit so she can stand better later on. But everything else is fine. No problems with Lost Galaxy Yellow that I need to take note of. But it's just, why is her neck too long and why is her knee bent? But I mean, it's all fine and dandy. Now, let's take a look at her articulation, and then I will do a final overall critique on the Lost Galaxy team in the collection. Me being the diehard Lost Galaxy fan that I am, since my channel is named PRLostGalaxy2014. I know I'm not any better than any other Power Ranger fan, but you don't think I've been named PRLostGalaxy2014 for nothing after 13 years. Let alone doing fan films of this Ranger team, since we got so much MMPR. Lost Galaxy forever, motherfucker. Okay, articulation. Her head turns around very good. It looks like the ball joint on the head, when I swipe it out a little bit later, looks a little loose. I just hope I don't have that mistake like I did my Trini at first. The tilting on the head is up and down, so you can do some abdomen crunching a little bit, but it's a little stiff on the abdomen though. Now, if we can't do her abdomen very well and bending it a little bit well, okay, I guess she can, but it was a little stuck based on and that snap. Now let's get on to arms, like elbow crunch. So yeah, I pledge allegiance to rock and roll or Spider-Man. Well, because again, Maya got these hands out because, you know, her being the wolf, you know, like Galaxy Yellow, like in Trakeena's Revenge, and like how she always poses, because her galactic beast is of course the wolf, hungry like the wolf, quote Duran Duran. So yeah, you got the elbow crunch there, and then you got an elbow crunch here, just like that. And then spread the legs out. Her knee crunches are pretty good, at least, so no problems on the knee, on this knee. There is a problem on this one, unfortunately, but despite it being bent, this is still all right. Okay, still okay. Enough said. No problem. Ankle pivot is good, so she got some good ankle pivoting going on if you want to pivot her toes, and then that's it. Now, it would have been great if she had a Quasar Saber, I mean, like the rest. I mean, it's just, she is just so deprived of a saber. This is just a tad shame, really. Now, sorry. There should be another hand. Oh, well, there's another hand where if she was to wield the Quasar Saber, one of these interchangeable hands would be if she was to wield a sword. But of course, one of the hands can go for when she's grabbing on the like the Quasar launcher. And again, the Quasar launcher, I mind it, but most of us who want to finish Lost Galaxy could have had the whole team with all 5 of them with Quasar launchers. You could have did for like a different wave or something, but like it just makes things a bit too inconsistent. And I know if Lost Galaxy is not your cup of tea for those watching, you can just click away. I mean, there are other Power Ranger teams that are worth more of your time than these Charlie Brown twits. And, you know, because I know there's some folks who just, I know Lost Galaxy's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's mine. Or cup of joe, but it's my cup of joe too. And for those who missed out on the season when it initially happened, you really missed out on some greatness during its run. But there's reruns. You can just watch, you know, find reruns, find the whole season on YouTube and Tubi, or get the series on DVD for those who are curious. I'm trying to get this hand out, but it's just a little difficult to get this hand. Okay, got it. I mean, I mind the, you know, these hands, but just got to put a hand where she looks like she's grabbing a Quasar Saber. And I think one of those bald fists was probably from what I had. So, for her. Because, I know how badass the Yellow Ranger is. Not as badass as the original, you know, saber-toothed tiger girl from the very first season. But I can go with a wolf. I mean, if we can have a badass Yellow Ranger with a saber-toothed tiger, why not a badass Yellow Ranger with a wolf helmet from another galaxy? I'm trying to put the joint of the hand in here, but I think that's what hurts this figure. Some of the joints to put in the hand, you know, put the hand into the arm on the figure is a little hard. I'm trying to get it in, but it just won't. I don't know. It's going to look stupid because just look at how it looks right now. I think this is one of the problems why the Lightning Collection was put on pause or been canceled altogether. Quality control was hurting the collection in the years it was running. But, you know, since Hasbro's not bringing it back, we're sadly not going to see everybody come back, and we'll see Ranger teams ever get made in the collection, which, again, sucks. So, and again, we could have, yeah. But you know what? I'll just, you know, if that hand's not going to work, I'll just see if the bald fist hand will go in at least. Because, okay, well, at least the bald fist can go in. That works. And then, well, that's it for my review on Lost Galaxy Yellow. Now, as a Power Rangers Lost Galaxy based channel, and as a Power Rangers channel as a whole, what are my thoughts on Hasbro's take after 5 years and a half of wanting new action figures of Lost Galaxy once the Lightning Collection was ever announced? Even though Magna Defender came first and Lost Galaxy Pink and Yellow came last. What are my final thoughts on Lost Galaxy Yellow? Lost Galaxy Yellow is good, but now in terms of Power Rangers Lost Galaxy as a team in the Lightning Collection, Galacta fantastic. Now, In Space was good, even though I said In Space Pink had major flaws in her figure due to QC, but everybody else was good. For Lost Galaxy, they had like the best set of figures, but sadly, we'll never see other variants. No Lights of Orion for the Core 5. Lights of Orion, activate! Huh? No lights? Dang, that sucks. Two of the Rangers, these two specifically, Leo and Maya specifically, they have no trans daggers, which sucks. Half of everybody not having Quasar launchers like red and yellow, which sucks. And Leo, no battleizer. Even though I hate that battleizer, but that too sucks. I'm happy I got the team for the season, but sadly, no villains, no monsters, not even Stingwingers, nor Zord Ascension Project, Galaxy Megazord, and the like for this team in the Lightning Collection. Or even roleplay helmets. It's sad. And I love Lost Galaxy. I've always loved it since it premiered on February 6th of 1999 until it concluded December the 18th that year. And then when the Galaxy Rangers returned to deal with Trakina one last time with Lightspeed Rescue, and you know how much I've softened up on Trakina's revenge. I was never a big fan of the team up, not because Leo was dubbed over by someone that sounded like Mike's actor, and Trakina being totally played by a different actress that was going to be a no-name anyway. But Trakina's revenge is still at least tolerable and better than later Power Ranger team-ups that were worse, afterwards, like, Legendary Battle and whatever the hell Cosmic Fury was doing. But with Billy and Heckle teaming up with Cosmic Fury, Lost Galaxy, I really have finally accomplished something in my life, my livelihood of being a fan of these Rangers. And if my mom, dad, and my brother were still alive to see this, they would have been happy that I finally got over my obsession. Because for 25 plus years, even after Lost Galaxy ended and when Lightspeed Rescue was at this time finishing up its run, and because around this time Trakina's Revenge did make its way into television after months being on VHS tape from select McDonald's with purchase of Happy Meal toys and all, in the form of that 3D Triple Force thing on the tape. I finally got over my obsession with Power Rangers Lost Galaxy toy-wise. What remains to put an end to is finishing up doing a fan film where I finally have the legacy canon characters of Leo, Damon, Kai, Kendricks, Maya, and Mike proper in a Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film definitively. Because the fan films of Lost Galaxy I did, and you all should know, and for new viewers who are not caught up with my history, those fan films I did were nothing like Lost Galaxy, much to the core. Yeah, I had the suits, the Megazords, but it just hardly, it was Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, but it was just Power Rangers Lost Galaxy without Leo and the gang proper, because they are the Power Rangers. They are the Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. Those Mary Sue, Gary Stu OCs that I had didn't catch on. The end of November or sometime in December, I will finally put out the fan film that I should have finished back last year or 2023, 22. And I hope you guys enjoy it. But yeah, the Lost Galaxy set, great. I mean, as a Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan, literally, as a whole, I'm happy I got the figures. I finally got all of these figures, and they are way better than what I had back 25 plus years ago for Christmas that year as a child. Because I get where things, what was going through, what I was going through in life as a child growing up with my parents and stuff. I wasn't going to get all the toys. Didn't have all the action figures of Lost Galaxy, but during Lightspeed Rescue, I did manage to get something like Morpher, the Megazord. I will do a retro review on this probably sometime this month. Probably before or after my fan film hits. My new fan film after 7 years hiatus hits. And that's about it, folks. And now, if they had continued the Lightning Collection without, we got the team, but without Trakina, Deviant, Villamax, Scorpius, Stingwinger figures, it's just, I guess the Galaxy Rangers will have to face Mighty Morphin and Space's villains in the Lightning Collection, sadly, because we're never going to see Trakina. I definitely really wanted to see if they were to do a figure of Lost Galaxy's most notorious and only known villain, because everybody else in the season, save for Villamax and Deviant, sucked. The Mutiny villain sucked. Scorpius definitely sucked. No offense, Trakina, your dad was an animatronic puppet with a fucking vagina for a mouth that only did nothing up until 21 episodes, and then he died. But y'all should have, it's just, again, they should have made Trakina the main villain from the start. But I understand they didn't want her to be a repeat of Rita, Divatox, and Astronema. I get it. But it's sad, What do I have to do? Take an existing female Marvel legend and make a custom Trakina out of that, I guess, or something? I don't know. knowing some figure customs that I make are not going to be all that great, but you know. But so that's it for my review on Lost Galaxy Yellow and Power Rangers Lost Galaxy as a whole. I know I went on a little long enough, you know, personal connection with Lost Galaxy again with me. So that concludes Lost Galaxy in the Lightning Collection. So I hope you guys enjoyed these videos. I hope you enjoyed the reviews for this team. Sad we'll never see no more figures related to this season in the collection. And sadly, not even a second Lost Galaxy Pink with Corone. Unless taking an existing Astronema head and once again, pay tribute to how Corone had her little Astronema flashback while wearing the Pink Ranger suit, saying, "I love being a Power Ranger," back in the extended version of the finale of Super Mega Force. Oh well. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, drop a like, share this video with your friends, and I'll see you guys next time.